Hi, I'm Kate Ahern, the Sangoma, and you're very welcome to the Sangoma TV. This is the second video of 3 videos, and in this video we're going to explore the notion of energy as thought. And last we spoke about energy in the physical being and in our aura, so that energy travels outside of ourselves. And we also explored the notion of the energy center, the root chakra. So today we're going to explore where energy in thought comes from, and in order to do that we need to go back to the beginning, so when we were a baby. And when the baby comes into the world at as early as kind of 5 to 6 weeks, it'll smile for the first time. So it knows by giving a smile it gets a certain reaction, and also by crying it gets a certain reaction. So it's beginning to learn about itself and its world through the reactions of others outside of it. And then, depending on whether you're the eldest child or the middle child or the youngest child or even an only child, you begin to interact through what we call the ego, or another word is accumulation of masks. So we put on a different mask for the different people we interact with, and we then bring these masks into our adult life, and needless to say they will get more and more. So you push yourself out into the world more and more by playing a role for different people in your life. And perhaps you've never looked at yourself in that way. And also what's going on at another level is that very earlier on we're conditioned to live within a certain set of rules or regulations that that are either given to us by our family, and about our ability to live as a unit within a family home. It expands out into the community, and then what our community expects of us, and also maybe into the greater community. So conditions are laid down at a very, very early age. And some of the conditions would be simple things like, mealtime, for instance, or routine within your life, whether you are somebody that makes their bed in the morning, for instance, or that you have your meals at a certain time, that you like discipline and routine, and for others not necessarily so. So again, these conditions that can be laid down at a very early age can actually corral our potential. So through no fault of anybody, parents, we live within a certain set of rules that might on some level quelch your potential. So it is important that as we go into adult life, and if we're feeling stuck, that we explore areas at which we might necessarily need to be conditioned by anymore. And through the Sangoma May, this is one of the things we would look at in detail. Other things that are laid down at a very early age are things like values. So whether you value family, for instance, value friendships, value your community, value your work. Again, that's something you could explore, and through working with me, these are the areas that we would explore, because you could be holding on to a value that might necessarily be worthy of where you are in your life at the moment, and also it might be holding you back. Another thing that's laid down very early age is our belief system. So how we believe about things in the world. So beliefs around work, beliefs around money, like money doesn't grow on trees, or another belief system would be that you have to work hard to make a living. But also, to expand this another little bit, it's actually the beliefs about ourselves. So if you would look at the way you think about yourself, it is actually gleaned from information that you've received from the opinions of others, that they told you about what you're like, and you have gone in and you've processed a certain belief about yourself. So when we do the work through the Sangoma way, what we're actually doing is we're actually deconstructing these beliefs, because they're only an aspect of you that might necessarily be true. You're far deeper, and your true self is beyond limitation. So you could be limited by a certain set of beliefs around yourself. So if you can imagine then, when we were speaking about energy centers, we spoke about the 7. So last video we actually went over the root chakra, and this video we're going to examine the second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, or also the sex chakra. It's to do with creativity, it's to do with joy and passion. So if you're feeling a little bit stuck, it could be because there's certain values and beliefs and conditions that are keeping you stuck, and that your true potential might be made small. So exploring perhaps who you really were is it's important to go back to maybe your childhood and the kind of child you were. So for me, I liked nature, I liked being out, I liked climbing trees, I liked going around my bare feet, I liked being in the meadows, and I liked music, I liked art. So that's an essence of who I truly am, and I carry those with me, and I've explored them more in detail rather than keeping them in a compartment in my life. They're now part of my life. So for you, you might have just got caught up in the busyness of the everyday and about looking after the needs of others, and you might have stopped looking after the parts of you that need to flourish and grow in order to make you a happier person. So for your homework for this video, I'd like you to explore the aspects of who you were. And an easy one actually is when you were a child, you're at your truest nature. So what did you like to do? What you still love to do, and maybe you're not finding the time to do it. And let me know how you get on, and I will see you for the next video. Thanks.